Hi everybody, so today I'm going to demonstrate how to do a pour over coffee. So what we have here is a bag of beans. This is from Bali. I picked this up on a trip when I went there. I got it from this local roaster. When I visited a shop, it was very nice, very great coffee. So here's some beans that I pre-picked out ahead of time, nice and shiny. I got a scale that's accurate to 0.1 gram. A hand grinder. This is a Porlex. Very nice. I've been using this for about a week. Very fine grind, very consistent, not too expensive. I have 2 cups. This is just one for the coffee, that's one for the waste when I'm done pouring over. This is a larger scale. This is able to handle the weight of the cup and the V60 and also the filter and coffee grinds and water and everything. The reason why I don't use this small one is because this one only has a 600 gram limit, and the reason why I don't use this one to weigh the coffee is because it's only accurate to the nearest gram. When you're doing 200 grams of water, it's 1 gram off, or half a gram is not too bad. And I have a kettle with a very narrow spout, and this makes it easy for pouring. Alright, so the first things first is to measure out the coffee. So I'm going to turn this on, wait for it. So the amount I found from using the V60 in my case is I prefer 12 grams to 200 grams of water. So I have the grinder on here. I'm going to zero it out. Alright, this is what I just did. And I'm going to pour 12 grams of coffee in and out. And it's a little more than 12 grams. Alright, there you go. So once I do that, that means I'm good to go on the grind. Just going to put this aside here. Shut it off. So with the Porlex, basically you attach the handle on and you grind. Now it may sound loud, but it's not really. It's pretty smooth. To grind 12 grams, not a lot of effort. So I'm just going to show you right here. And you know you're done when all of a sudden you won't have any more resistance. So just quickly grind it. This is not really too good for a large amount of coffee, but for 1 cup it's no big deal. And you see all of a sudden it got quieter. So that means the beans is done. So I'm going to just tap it. Take a look. This coffee is a light roast. So you can see it in there. And it's very even, fine grind. So I'll show it in the V60 in a little bit. So it's this part time. So what I'm going to do first is I'll have some hot water ahead of time that I made. And I'm going to take a filter. Now this is not a V60 filter. It's a supermarket brand, local Melta. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to fold the sides. I do notice that these seams, they do break. So you got to be very careful, especially down here too, when you load it up with coffee. So what I'm going to just really do is just put this in here and wet the filter. It's to get rid of the impurities of the filter and also to heat up the cup. So while it's doing that, I'm going to reheat the kettle in the background over there. And I'm going to try to get it to boiling temperature. I'm just making sure that it's going to stick to the sides. The reason why we wet is, I'm not sure if you could tell, but there's a slight odor and there's a slight discoloration from the filter, so they'll hopefully remove the taste from it. Okay, so I'm back. So now I just reboiled the water. I filled my kettle over here. It's full of the really hot water, so I'm just let that cool a little bit because I don't exactly want it to be boiling temperature. So poured the ground coffee in. Made a little indent. All right, so this is just to give me a visual cue where the center of the V60 is. Now, it's probably gonna be out of frame, but what I just did is I turned on the scale and I just zeroed it out. So right now, the cup, the V60, the coffee grinds, and the filter, and the scale will say 0. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put roughly about 30 grams of water, and this is just to bloom or infuse the coffee grinds here. You notice that some of it will go down here. The coffee, if it's fresh, it'll start bubbling. It's basically releasing carbon dioxide. Right now the room is really smells nice from the coffee, so you have that wonderful coffee scent. So what I'm going to do now is start zooming in on the part of here. This takes roughly about 30 seconds before you start pouring, so I'm just going to zoom in and you can see the technique of pouring. The goal here is to reach roughly about 200 grams. Alright, so once the coffee blooms, and you could tell by some bubbles, it takes roughly about 30 seconds. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pouring. So what you want to do is pour from the center with the spout, narrow spout type of container. It makes it very easy to target the water. So I'm going to do center and I'm going to do little circles and go out. I'm trying to basically avoid the edges of the V60. What happens is if I do hit it, the water is going to probably go around the coffee grinds and then go into the cup. And it's clear water, so that's not something you want, because then you won't get the water hitting the coffee grinds and extracting all the flavor. So at this point I'm going to try to keep doing this, and what I want to do is I don't want to take longer really than 3 minutes time. So hopefully I could do this pretty quickly. So you basically just keep filling it. You try not to have the water go past the coffee grinds, right? So after this you should see a little indent in the center. So but with this little narrow spout, it makes it very easy to pour smoothly. If you use a kettle, it's going to all rush out. You're going to have way too much of that water going in. It's going to rush down the sides. That's stuff you particularly don't want. You just want it in the center, hitting the coffee grinds, making sure to extract all the great flavor. And you do little circles. And again, I'm just trying to reach the goal of the 200 grams for this particular batch of coffee. So I'm almost there. Right now I'm at 118. And hopefully I'm not running over. Sometimes, you know, talking and running the camera, you get a little distracted, right? So but you get the general gist of what I'm doing. And resist the urge to splash the water on the sides to try to push the coffee down. That's not what you're trying to do in this case. Alright, you just want to get in the circle and try to get the water in there. Normally I use the V60 filters, but in a pinch you could use these semi-generic ones. They seem to work okay. The only thing you gotta be careful is the V60 has a big hole in the center. It may not be able to support the weight of the coffee and the hot water. Hasn't happened to me too many times, but occasionally I would get a bad situation where basically all the coffee and the water will go through. You could basically tell when that happens, because all of a sudden the water will go right through and you will see nothing in the V60 top over there. So just keep going here. Almost there. I'm at 186. This is like one of my favorite methods to get a great cup of coffee. So and again, just in the center, the little circles going to the outer edge, but not touching the outer edge. And with this particular one, it's perfect. Alright, so right now I reached my goal. And in a few seconds I'm going to pull it off and I'm going to have great coffee. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it off a little early. I remember the other cup. It's basically, I'm going to pull it off a little early just to show you guys, because this is basically, you just put it on the side when you're done. See over here, great coffee, good color. The aroma is really good. I'm gonna just take a sip here. Hope you guys don't mind. Great, it's nice and smooth, clean finish. If you like the information in this, or you have any questions, just post a comment below. Thanks for watching.